Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the time that I can present my paper under title The Effect of Seismic Masses in Calculation of 17 Building Structures. I write this paper with my friend, Mr. Roy Miliardi, Mr. Yosafat Aji Pranata, and Mr. Robi Yusaktalar. We are from Department of Civil Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Bandung, Indonesia. Introduction. Mesos is a seismic weight according to code and performed for seismic analysis. ASCE 7-10 requires the effective seismic weight include dead load and other load. In this case, other load is live load reduction. Seismic mass source is a parameter that used both for calculation of seismic loads using equivalent lateral force method and response spectrum analysis. ASCE 7 or IPC request for another loads as a storage which is 0.25 live load not be included in the effective seismic weight if increasing of storage loads adds no more than 0.05 Jared, and packing need not be included in the effective seismic weight. Partition weight is required and the weight of operation of permanent equipment. The problem is in the application in software etaps, there are three ways to define seismic mass. One is from self and specified mass, and two from loads, and three from self and specified mass and loads. Each choice has different consequences in input self-weight, dead load, and live load. This may result in duplicated self-mass or not include live load. So the purpose of this article are to obtain the mass source with near to mass calculated manual from three ways option in etaps. Mass calculated manual obtain mass source by manual that can be compared with the from three ways option in etaps. Method and material. This figure represent the 3D building model, the 17 building structure, where in the bottom structure, it's the become one building, but in the upper structure, there are separate into two tower. The floor plan is in one floor until fourth floor plan. It's like this figure. The 5 until 6 floor plan is like this, and the 7 floor until the 17 floor plan is like this. Result and discussion. Table 1 shows that the manual calculation of mass is like this. From floor 0 until the 17th floor. The self-weight, this present, and the superimposed dead load, that's present, the live load, that is present, total area, in meter square, total weight in kilogram. Time period from variant masses. Mass source condition. In the self and specified mass default that assumed by dead load plus live load, the period is 1.411. But for from loads, the period is 1.732. So on, they become higher point from time period. So from this table, we see that from loads is the time period is near with the mesos manual. So perhaps the live load is not included in default. This figure shows that from variation of mesos, the mesos manual is the value is the lowest, and then the self and specified mass, dead load and live load is higher than mesos manual, and from load, dead load plus 0.5 live load is higher than mesos manual. This is the condition that shown in the graphic. For the next figures, invariant equivalent lateral forces, so the equivalent lateral force from self and specified mass, dead load plus live load is the lowest. And then the equivalent lateral force from loads, dead load plus 0.5 live load is in the middle, and the other is higher than equivalent load force from load. In the graphic story here with variation mesos, it's shown that self and specified mass give the value the lowest, and after that from loads, the next is self and specified mass and load, and the last is self and specified mass and load. So the story drift with variation mesos is present in this graphic. In this graphic, we know that story drift is self and specified mass is the lowest, and the highest value for story drift is from story drift self and specified mass and load, that combination dead load plus live load. The conclusion is the lowest period equivalent lateral force, story shear, story drift are from self and specified mass. After that, from load with dead load plus 0.5 live load. Next is self and specified mass and load with dead load plus 0.5 live load. The last is self and specified mass and load with dead load plus LL. Number 2, from load with dead load plus 0.5 live load is near to mass calculated manual with DL plus LL and corresponding with recommendation by ASCE 7/10.